Jean from Happy Indulgence, and today I'm going to go through my March wrap-up. I'm going to be talking about the 10 books that I read last month, as well as my thoughts and feelings about them and some of the amazing things that happened during March. Oh my gosh guys, March has to be one of the best months ever this year. Basically, if you haven't heard already, I'll be hosting Jay Christoph at his Lifelike launch in Brisbane. I can't believe it guys, this is like a dream come true. I mean, you guys know how much I love the Illuminae files, I love Nevernight, I love God's Grave, and when I RSVP'd for Lifelike a few weeks ago, I had no idea I'll actually be part of the In Conversation with Jay. I was actually asked by the publisher to host the In Conversation with Jay, so I'm so excited. I can't wait for it to happen. I've also been invited as a panelist at the Love Ya event in Brisbane. This is Brisbane's first dedicated YA event, and it's held by the Brisbane Writers Festival. So me and Pierre Ford will be talking about book reviewing and booktubing as part of the event as well, and I'll make sure to vlog it for those who can't attend in person. But that's also some really exciting news as well, and I've got a video coming up to talk about the Love Ya event in detail. I'll make sure to leave a link down below to our panel as well so you can check it out and hopefully come along. And during March we also launched The Name of the Book Club. Our first meeting will be the 28th of April. It's going to be a casual picnic vibe in both Brisbane and Sydney, and there'll also be a live show the day after for those who can't attend in person. So our first book club read is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I can't wait to read it, and I can't wait for our first book club meeting. It's going to be awesome. I also got to watch Ready Player One and love Simon. I actually watched Ready Player One a second time. I loved it guys, and I'll make sure to link my thoughts on it up above, and I'm going back to watch Love Simon next week because I loved it so much. Lots of exciting things in March. I know May is going to be completely awesome because I'm coming down to Melbourne to visit some of you guys and to finally meet Patrick Ness as well. So it's going to be an awesome month, and it's been a great start to the year. So now onto the books that I read during the month. As usual, I'm going to go through my favorite books down to my least favorite books. I've been having a really great reading streak lately, and I'm so excited because this doesn't usually happen. Normally I get lots of 3-star reads, but yeah, let's hope it can continue in April. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Obsidian. Oh my gosh guys, I love this series so much. If you haven't seen all my raving and ranting about this book on my YouTube video, which I'll link up above, on my blog, on Twitter, basically every single channel, I don't know where you've been because far out, this book caused me so much anxiety because I didn't want anything happening to any of the characters, but while reading it, it's like getting gut punches over and over and over again. It was a fantastic end to the series. As you guys know, I've reread each and every one of the books, but I don't know when I'm going to reread this one because it just delivered such a gut punch, and I was crying at these quiet moments. I was like really feeling for each of the characters, and I had so much anxiety. I'm like, please don't let anything happen to any of my babies. And also, it's obviously awesome because my name is actually in it here. So this is like an obituary, and it was pretty shocking when I first read it, but oh my gosh, love, and I gave this one 5 stars. My next 5-star read is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the ARC edition that I got. Guys, the hype is real. I mean, I've heard about this book since September last year. It's been mentioned over and over. Everyone loves it, and I know why, because I mean, the magic system is fantastic. It's based on the Black Lives Matter movement, but it's set in a fantasy setting, and lots of fantasy books that I read, it's got white characters, it's about dragons, it's about knights, it's set around castles. But this was something a bit different because it's based around clans. They have darker skin, and they have like markings on their face if they have magic, and it's based on the oppression of these really powerful people. It's just about Zelly, and she's completely badass and she's trying to bring the magic back to the land, but she's also a really great flawed character as well. And I love the different character perspectives. So you've got Zelly's brother, you've got Princess Amari, who came from the kingdom and she's escaped the castle from the evil king. And then you've got one of the princes as well, and he's actually an evil villain at the start, but you can tell he's a really conflicted character. So I felt like each and every character was really complex, really well built, and I just wanted to know more about them. I wanted to know more about this rich mythological world. I loved how the adventure kept on having changing goals, so you never really knew what was happening, and there's so many twists and turns. When I got to the ending, like my mouth just dropped open and I could not like believe what had just happened. So it's a long wait until the next book, but I urge you guys all to pick it up, especially if you love diverse fantasy reads, and there aren't enough of them, and this is a fantastic example of what it can be like. My next 5-star read is a series that I love dearly, and that is Drakehora by Lynette Noni, and this is the 3rd book in the Midori Chronicles series. I read Akane, which is the first book, a while ago, but I went to the RAVES launch and I could just see how many people love this series, how passionate they were about it, and I really wanted to be part of it, which is why I picked up Drakora. I immediately read Raylia last month, and then this month I picked Drakora, and then I'll be reading Grey Veil fairly soon, which is the 4th book, and there's going to be a 5-book series. Drakora was freaking awesome. Like, how awesome is it? I know why a lot of people love it and it's their favorite book of the series, because there's dragons. I mean, there's dragons, there's time travel. I can't even begin to describe the plot of this series, and I don't want to because it's basically a spoiler, but since Alex has come into this magical world of Midori, she's been through so much, and there were a lot of darker moments in here. Like, it's completely heart-aching, but she continues to be badass, and she feels like really relatable as well. Like, you can imagine yourself in Alex's shoes and what you would do there. But the series also manages to be really fun and light as well. But oh my gosh, like, I love the time travel and the competing timelines. I love Alex, I loved Avon. Okay, maybe not Avon, but you know, it was just really interesting to see these characters go back in time and seeing what they were like in the past, and I love that storyline. So obviously I gave this on 5 stars as well. I can't wait to be reading Grey Veil this month now. Now onto my 4-star read. So I gave Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerri Maniscalco 4.5 stars. Far out, guys. I'm complete trash for this series. Since I picked up Stalking Jack the Ripper, I had to order Hunting Prince Dracula straight away because I really wanted to know what happens with Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell. They have so much like sexy banter and so much chemistry, and I'm completely trash for it. I love it. I love this book as well. I think this series is absolutely fantastic because it's set in the Regency period, where obviously females are supposed to sit at home and sew and sip tea and wear pretty dresses, but you've got Audrey, and she's a bit different because she's interested in forensic science, and she won't let any male or any societal convention stop her from doing what she loves. So now she's with Thomas Cresswell, and together they're going to a medical school in this Draconian castle, and there's the Dracula mythology hovering around them as well. I loved how like Stalking Jack the Ripper had a relatively concise book that was wrapped up towards the end, but then in this one they're like in a completely new adventure, but it's still got the same characters, the same snarky banter, the same wit. And I just completely loved it because I love the like wintry setting in this one. There's something about it that felt like sipping hot cocoa in a cozy blanket on your bed. And it's also not afraid to be gory and bloody as well. So Hunting Prince Dracula was awesome. I really recommend this series, guys. Next 4.5 star read is White Knight by Elimani, and this one is a Love Oz YA book. I actually have a giveaway running on my blog at the moment for Aussie readers, so I'll make sure to link that below along with my written review. So basically White Knight is set in a small town. It's about a guy called Beau. He's basically your usual, you know, jock who has great friends, he's really nice, he's popular in class, but when he meets this girl called Rory, who he's never heard of before, but she turns out to be from like an off-town community, he's really curious about her and he wants to know more about her beliefs and about why she's different to everyone else. This is a real testament to Ellie Marnie's writing, but when they visited the Garden of Eden, I actually wanted to be in that cult. Like, how weird is that? It's the way that it was all set, like everyone's completely welcoming, they all pitch in, you know, with the farming, with the cooking, with the building, and it just felt like a really nice welcoming community where people embrace each other's differences and they don't enforce, you know, societal beliefs on anyone and they don't marginalize people. And that was actually really great about the Garden of Eden. I also love Beau. He was just such a fantastic male character. I mean, he's sweet, you know, he cares for his family, he cares for his parents, but he has an internal conflict as well. Like, he enjoys cooking, but he feels like he can't pursue it because his dad wants him to be a jock. And there's that was explored as well. But after meeting Rory, I mean, she gets bullied because she's this strange girl from the outside that no one knows, and she has these outlandish beliefs, but she doesn't back down and she doesn't shy away from the person that she is and from pursuing her beliefs. So I love the environmental aspects of this book. I love the acceptance and the community, and I love pursuing who you are and the passions that you believe in. Great writing, great male character, great setting. I gave this one 4.5 stars. I loved it. Ellie Marnie is also going to be presenting at the Love Ya event at Brisbane Writers Festival. I'll make sure to leave all the details down below if you did want to attend as well, and I can't wait to meet her and get this book signed. Next read is Hero at the Fore by Alwyn Hamilton, and I've just reviewed this on the blog as well, which I'll link down below. Guys, this is the third book in the Rebel of the Sands trilogy, and oh my gosh, I adored this. Like, this series definitely stands out because it's an action-packed fantasy that's set in a desert mythological setting with djinns, with sands, with creatures. I mean, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to this series. Although, fair warning, I've heard from people that it doesn't provide the best Middle Eastern rep, but I still enjoyed this series and for what it provided. Hero at the Fore was completely action-packed from start to finish. I think it was actually the best book of the series, even better than Rebel of the Sands, because it was so thrilling seeing Amani and the rebellion take over the Sultan and seeing all the characters that she has to rescue, that she's influenced throughout the series. It's not one of those fluffy reads where no one dies as well, and yeah, I just really enjoyed the magical mythical setting in this one. Definitely loved it and gave it 4.5 stars. Now onto my 3-star reads. So the first one is Rat Queens Volume 2, and this one is The Far-Reaching Tentacles of Nuraghoth. I love the first book in this series because it uses these really great feminist fantasy archetypes, and they're the ones who go in and defeat the dragons. They're the ones who go in and are sent on quests, and there's something just really spunky and really feminist about it, and I love how badass it is. Rat Queens was a bit too weird for me, and it lost a lot of the character spark that I had come to love from the first book. Basically, it goes through different character flashbacks and it flashes from past to present, and they're trying to defeat this like massive tentacle demon that brings out different dimensions and different realities, and it's just really confusing to follow. I did enjoy some of the backstories of the characters, but I felt like a lot of the spark from the previous book had been lost here. So I gave this one 3 stars. I don't know if I'll continue with the rest of the series because I just don't love it that much. Next book is Between Us by Clare Atkins, and this is a Love Oz YA read about a girl called Anna, and she's a refugee girl who lives in a detention center, but she actually goes to school, and at school she meets a guy called Jono. Jono is like a boy from the wrong side of the tracks. He's a biracial Vietnamese Australian, and we also get the perspective of his dad, which is Kenny, and he works as a guard at the detention center. So this book was such an important book about understanding the challenges that refugees face and the prejudices that they have to overcome. I mean, nothing that they do is illegal, but they get punished for it, and it comes through in Kenny's attitude, in Jono's attitude, in the people at school that Anna has to face, and you can just really build empathy when it comes to her situation. And I loved how meeting Anna made Jono realize that he wanted to be a better person. And it was interesting because having that adult point of view as well, you can see how Kenny, at the start, he's like really accepting of these refugees, but then as things happen at work and at the prison, he changes his attitude and he's actually standing in the way. So I think books like this are so important for expanding your mindset when it comes to these people and building empathy when it comes to the refugee crisis. So I gave this one 3.5 stars. It's definitely an important read. Last book that I read is P is for Pearl by Eliza Henry Jones, and I read this one along with the last book for OzYA, which is a segment on ABC Radio each month where we review 2 Aussie YA books. I actually read this at the very start of the month and I can't remember too much about it. It's one of those really slow moving books that's more slice of life than about anything action-packed or any cataclysm event. It's about a girl called Gwen, and she's lost some of her recent family members and she's trying to overcome that and both mourn them but also move on as well. And a lot of her classmates are now treating her differently because of that. Like, I thought it was quite a slow moving book, so it didn't really keep my interest that much, but I thought it was really beautifully written, especially the way that Pearl's personality came out as well, or Gwen's personality came out as well. These are all the books that I picked up during the month of March. It was a fairly successful reading month, so I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on the books. If you want to know more, or if you do end up picking any of them up, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Thanks guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.